Do you want to plan a trip to Italy on your own but don't know how? Well, today we're going to teach you how to plan the perfect trip to Italy independently. Andrea and I live in Italy and travel around the country all the time.
Actually, I was born here.
That's right. And because of this, we want to share our knowledge of Italy with you so that you can have a wonderful experience visiting.
Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea. And today we'll teach you how to plan a trip to Italy on your own. But first, if you like travel-related videos like this one, now is the right time to hit the subscribe button down below so you'll never miss any future videos.
Yes, exactly. And while you're at it, do consider sharing this video on social media because maybe some of your friends or family members will be traveling to Italy and they might want to know this information too.
Absolutely. So let's begin our planning for a trip to Italy on your own by talking about do your research. The first thing you have to ask yourself when you're planning a trip to Italy is, what do I really want to see? This is a crucial step in your planning. If you are interested in ancient history, you might want to focus your trip around Rome and the Roman Empire sites, such as Pompeii, Herculaneum, and many others. On the other hand, if you love art, plan a trip with focus on Florence and Venice. If you're looking to explore romantic villages and countryside, consider focusing more on Tuscany, Cinque Terre, or maybe the Amalfi Coast.
The Amalfi Coast is so beautiful,
It
right?
is really beautiful. Lastly, if your main goal is to enjoy good food and have fun, you can go pretty much anywhere in Italy and we'll be very happy.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering what you were going to say on that one. All right, so moving on with our how to plan a trip to Italy on your own, and we'll talk next about the itinerary. So once you've determined what is important for you to visit, then it's time to build an itinerary around that. So there's a few things that you want to consider. First, you're going to want to optimize your itinerary so that you're not going back and forth, crisscrossing across the country. And plan it so that you minimize travel time so that you don't spend too much time in transit. Now, if this is your first time traveling to Italy, we strongly recommend visiting Rome, Florence, and Venice. These are the three most iconic cities in Italy and obviously must-sees on a first trip.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at a map of Italy, you'll see that the country is long and narrow, with Rome in the center and Florence between Rome and Venice. For this reason, we suggest you starting your trip in Rome and finishing the trip in Venice, or vice versa. Yep. As a general rule, plan at least 3 nights in Rome. 4 is even better. 2 nights in Florence. Now, 4 nights if you want to take a side trip to, let's say, Pisa or Siena.
Or Tuscany.
Yes. And at least 1 night in Venice. Now, if you want to add other destinations like Naples, Pompeii, the Amalfi Coast, well, we suggest you to start your trip in Rome and then go down to Naples, where you can stay at least 3 nights to visit Pompeii and Amalfi Coast, and then head to Florence and end your trip in Venice.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to know more about building an itinerary for a trip to Italy, have a look at this video up here. We cover the topic quite in depth.
Absolutely. Moving on to our next topic on how to plan a trip to Italy on your own, and we talk about transportations. Now that you've built an itinerary, consider how to move around Italy. Italy has an excellent train system, and we strongly recommend you using it. For traveling between Rome and Naples, or Rome and Florence, or Naples and Florence, or Florence and Venice, the Italian high-speed train is perfect. It's fast, it's comfortable, it's efficient, and it's very reliable. You can scan this QR code down here to book trains in Italy and also download a great app that allows you to book trains in Italy and manage your trip in the same app.
All in English, actually.
All in English, absolutely. Unfortunately, some area of Italy cannot be reached by train. For example, the Amalfi Coast can only be reached by car, by boat, or by bus. If you want to visit the Amalfi Coast, we strongly recommend you taking a tour because driving there is incredibly challenging.
Yeah, unless you like to drive on
not even
tiny, windy roads, I don't recommend it. But
If you want to take a trip to Tuscany countryside, maybe go wine tasting, you can either rent a car or take an organized tour.
Yeah, take an organized tour, that way you can drink more.
Driving around Tuscany is incredibly scenic and pleasant, and by car you can reach places that are not commonly visited by tourists. However, if you don't feel like driving or plan on doing some serious wine tasting, an organized tour is your best option. Scan this QR code for a few examples of tours in Tuscany that are worth checking out.
Yes, and I have to say that wine tasting in Tuscany is unlike anywhere else.
Absolutely. If you plan on visiting Cinque Terre, you will have to either take the train or do it by boat. First, you'll have to reach the city of La Spezia that is located about 2 hours from Florence. From there, you can either take the Cinque Terre train or you can take the boat. By the way, there's a video for you here if you want to know more about how to visit the Cinque Terre by train.
So our next topic about planning a trip to Italy on your own, we'll talk now about hotels. So when booking your hotels, keep in mind that location is key. Figure out which neighborhoods are best and consider factors like proximity to attractions, restaurants, and transportation. And this is especially important in cities like Rome, where you really don't want to be spending hours commuting between your hotel and the main attractions because the traffic is incredible. Another thing to consider is the budget. How much, determine how much you're willing to spend on accommodations. Keep in mind that prices can vary significantly between, depending on the season, the location, and the amenities that you want, right? The number of stars. Now, if you're traveling in peak season, and that's June, July, August, early September, well, you're going to have to spend a lot more on hotels than if you travel during the off season. It's also very important to check the reviews when booking a hotel in Italy. Read the reviews from other travelers to get a sense of what they say about the hotel, along with the hotel's amenities and their services.
Absolutely.
And lastly, if you're traveling through the countryside, consider staying at an agriturismo. This will give you a truly authentic experience, Italian experience. And these Italian guest houses often offer farm-to-table dining and opportunities to learn about the local culture. And some agriturismo also offer incredibly beautiful pools and spas surrounded by farmland.
So let's explore another aspect on how to plan a trip to Italy on your own, and we talk about attractions. When you come to Italy, it's natural to want to visit the Colosseum and the Sistine Chapel in Rome or the Doge Palace in Venice. Absolutely beautiful. However, to do so, you must buy your tickets in advance. If you don't, you risk waiting in line at the ticket office for hours, only to find out that their attraction is sold out. So, once you build your itinerary and you know which day it will be in each city, book the attraction for that specific city. You can scan this QR code down here for the most popular attraction in Italy, and by booking them using the QR code, you also have the peace of mind that you can cancel them, each one of them, up to 24 hours before your visit.
Right, because this is very important. Things change, right?
Yes, absolutely. Another very important thing to consider when planning attraction is try not to do too many in one single day. This is particularly important in Rome. You cannot go to the Colosseum, the Forum, and the Vatican Museum, and the Sistine Chapel and St. Peter Basilica in one single day. I mean, you can, but if you do so, you will be incredibly rushed, and by the end of the day, you will be exhausted. Instead, book the Colosseum and the Forum one day, and then do the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and the Vatican Museum the next day. Lastly, consider booking some less famous experience that not many tourists do. This can be incredibly fun and less busy than the most popular ones. For example, check out this video up here about a cooking class in Bologna that we did a few months ago.
Yes, that was
so much fun.
That was a really neat experience. Okay, so time to discuss our last aspect of planning a trip to Italy on your own, and we'll talk about what to bring. When planning a trip to Italy, it's important to pack wisely to ensure a comfortable and enjoyable experience. So, what does that mean? Start with clothing that's appropriate for the season. Since Italy is rather warm most of the year, lightweight, breathable fabrics are usually the way to go. Also, bring items that you can layer, like a light jacket or a sweater, so you can warm up quickly on those cooler evenings or during visits in the off season. Now, another thing we keep saying is to wear comfortable walking shoes. In Italy, the streets are old and uneven, so you're likely going to be spending a lot of time exploring cities on foot, navigating cobblestone streets, or walking over or under bridges. Now, it's a very good idea to also bring a power adapter for your electronics, as Italy uses 230-volt voltage. A portable charger is also very useful, especially if you plan on using your phone for navigation, translation, taking photos or
Absolutely.
videos. And speaking of phones, it's also important to have an international data plan through maybe a local SIM, and it'll help you stay connected without incurring some high roaming charges. And you can scan this QR code for the international data plan that we like. You can use it anywhere in the world, including Italy, and it'll save you a ton of money.
Absolutely.
Also, don't forget to bring travel insurance, copies of your reservations, and maybe about €100 in cash.
Per person.
Per person, just in case. You'll also want to pack at least 1 or 2 weeks worth of extra medications that you take regularly, just in case. A reusable water bottle you'll find to be helpful because water is safe to drink in most parts of Italy, and in most cities they have fountains that you can refill the bottle
Yep.
with. And lastly, consider bringing a small backpack for your daily outings to carry the essentials, right? Like the water, the snacks, a camera, or any purchases you make along the way.
And most importantly, remember your travel documents.
Yes.
So let's wrap it up with some final thoughts. Planning a trip to Italy on your own can be a very rewarding experience, offering the freedom to explore this beautiful country at your own pace.
Mhm.
By carefully considering your itinerary, transportation options, accommodation, and attraction, you can craft a trip that perfectly suits your need and aligns with your interests and preferences. Do your research, book your tickets in advance, and pack wisely to ensure a smooth journey. With the right preparation, your Italian adventure will surely be an unforgettable experience, filled with memories that will last a lifetime. And lastly, if you happen to see us out and about, don't hesitate to say hello. We would love to meet you all.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Ciao!
Ciao!